30th, a quick update and some patch notes from Raven. I believe these go live today with the update. So if you haven't updated your game, go update it. There's a bunch of stuff, especially with the NZ nerf, which I could not be more happy about because I'm just sick and tired of using that gun, to be honest. But yeah, so let's go through all the stuff that was implemented today. So there's not a whole lot, but we'll go through each of it. So first off, gameplay lootable perks is now enabled on Fortune's Keep. I didn't even realize they weren't there before. That's cool. Some bug fixes, some like collision, and there wasn't any particular bug that I was very well aware of, but there's some bug fixes here. If you want to go read what they are, go for it. I'll also link the website for the patch notes in the description below, so you guys can go see it for yourself. But here's the big stuff. Weapons. NZ41, lower torso damage multiplier decreased to 1 from 1.1. Good. The Orbi 360mm barrel horizontal recoil decreased to 25%, down from 30, so it's a little bit more horizontal recoil now. Muzzle velocity also decreased down to 30% from 40%. Didn't they just buff the velocity on this? Was muzzle velocity, not bullet? Is that the same thing? I don't know. The 50 round mag vertical recoil decreased to 20%, down from 40%, and horizontal recoil decreased to 30% from 45%. So these are huge, pretty significant nerfs, I would say. Though, I don't know. I feel like they should have nerfed also the burst barrel. Granted, a lot of people were using the 360mm instead of the burst rifle, or the burst barrel instead. So I'm not entirely sure how much of a nerf this is, because this basically it only changed up. I mean, it really only affected 2 attachments. I feel like they needed to nerf the gun itself, not just a few attachments. But we'll see how well that actually holds out in the next. But it's kind of, I wouldn't say they nerfed it to the ground, though. The 50 round mag vertical recoil, I mean, it's been brought down by half, in terms, or it's been nerfed by half. So you're not going to get those laser beams anymore. But if you know how to control that recoil, that vertical recoil, this might still be just as good, because right now the bullet velocity is still good, more or less. And while the lower torso multiplier is decreased by maybe 10%, not even. The other multipliers have not been changed, so don't know how that's going to go. The UGM is also something that was up and coming, but now they've, but looks like they nerfed this sucker too, with bullet velocities decrease. The Bernard XL214 736mm muzzle velocity decreased. Also, max damage decreased for this barrel. The 560mm, the 50 round box muzzle velocity decrease. Upper torso damage multiplier decreased. Recoil control decreased after the second bullet. And then the 75 round box muzzle velocity decrease. So a lot of decreases, basically. The UGM got nerfed like there's no tomorrow. Well, this one got a little better. Muzzle velocity decreased to minus 20%, down from minus 15. I think that's a buff, correct? No, that's a nerf. My bad. Rate of fire decrease, recoil control decrease, movement speed scaler now I don't know what it was before. The 75 round box got a little bit of a balance. Increased the damage range, but lowered the recoil. So, but overall, this sucker just got completely nerfed for the UGM. Oh man. Let's see what else they got. Sniper rifles, the 3-line rifle muzzle velocity. Sorry, I can't speak right now. increased by 4%. Car 98 Vanguard, muzzle, pretty much all the muzzle velocity for sniper rifle. So they're trying to, I guess, buff all the sniper rifles in Vanguard so that you don't use the HDR anymore. I don't know if this was enough for it, but we shall see. Submachine gun, okay, the Blixen, the range decreased, max damage range decreased, max minimum damage range decreased, or mid damage. Ooh, my bad. So now you can't. It's not so much of a longer. Well, I mean, 10 meters is not that far. So I don't know. Like, so they really nerfed this sucker. The Johnson 9-inch barrel, the max damage range was also decreased. So a bit of a nerf to the Blixen as well. The Marco hip fire accuracy decreased when in crouch or prone position. Okay. The Lesto 355 millimeter barrel movement speed decrease down to 5% from 10%. Okay. So they nerf all the submachine guns as well. Attachments. Okay. So lengthened bullets, muzzle velocity decreased. So lengthened might not be the end all be all ammunition anymore, which is kind of nice actually, to be honest. Like, I want to use other bullets instead of just lengthened. So and not have to worry about being gunned down by someone using lengthen, you know. And then let's see, MX silencer also got nerfed. Looks like muzzle velocity decreased down by about 25%. So that goes down a little bit there. And then Underbarrels, the M1941 hand stop, recoil control decrease to 3.5% from 4%. So pretty much all of your standard attachments have been completely nerfed. Well, not completely nerfed, but nerfed by a lot. So we might get a little bit more variety in terms of bullet usage. The MX silencer may or may not be the best silencer now, so you might use the other one. I forget what it's called, but the other muzzle, the other silencer. And then the hand stops. I mean, I think a lot of people are using the angled grip instead of the hand stop. So in terms of underbarrels, that might change up a lot too. Overall, there's not a whole lot of nerfs. I mean, they did nerf all of like the metas currently, but they didn't buff anything either. So does this make all the other weapons that we were using before more viable? So like, I mean, obviously the STG, you know, might be a more viable gun now. Things like what's that called? The carbine are more viable now, or a lot more competitive, because it's no longer just the NZ41, just, you know, completely dominating the spectrum here. So I'm not entirely sure how much this is actually going to change the overall meta. I feel like the NZ41 is still pretty good. Hell, I just went into I just did some Fortune's Keep just now, and, you know, it's still hitting pretty well. Like, I mean, granted, it could have just been me and the few kills I got, but, you know, that was still hitting pretty good. I think it'll be a lot more extensive testing in terms of game over game. But hopefully this at least means that we have just a lot more options moving forward. So I see this as a positive at the end of the day. And hopefully they keep, you know, kind of rebalancing this stuff, because, you know, they have so many weapons. It's like, why are we just limited to like 2 or 3 ARs? Like, at least you should have like 4 to 5 competitive ARs between one another. You know, you have some that hit harder but have crazy recoil, some that don't hit as hard but have like almost no recoil. You know, kind of like, I mean, I feel like at the end of Modern Warfare Warzone, right before Cold War came out, that was when we had a lot of good options, right? Like, the meta was obviously still the Grau, you know, but you could use the Kilo. Well, the Kilo was probably the meta at one point. But you can use the Grau, you can use the AMAX, you can use the RAM, and the M4, like, and still be able to compete. You know, like, if you, like, a person like if you were a decent quality player, you wouldn't be just annihilated by a noob, or like a really crappy player. Whereas now it's like, anybody who has remotely, that could just aim like remotely okay, 10% of the time can completely destroy you with the NZ41. Versus before, like you at least had some, flexibility in terms of what was meta versus not meta. If you just felt like a different gun one day, you can use a different gun. Whereas now it's like you can't. Like you literally can't use anything outside the NZ41 or UGM without, paying a huge penalty. At least that's what I think. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys think of the nerf in the comments below, and I'll see you guys on Warzone later.